Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this quick guide showing you how you can complete the time trials from March 11th until March 17th. Starting off with the RC time trial, as always you need an RC Galileo for this one in order to be able to complete it, so it's up to you if you want to invest in nearly $2 million that you can earn yourself $100,000 every week. It's worth it in my opinion, but the RC Galileo can be a little bit of a handful at times, but hopefully with these guides that I upload every week, it should be much easier. As always, the RC Galileo is a very light vehicle, so you want to be very mindful of that when you're using it, and make sure that you don't push it too hard, especially if you're not super familiar with it. I happened to get a comment from someone on last week's video, basically asking me like, hey, how do you do it? So for that reason, I figure I will give you some more advice here. Before I do that though, make sure to use your brakes whenever you're about to go up one of these stair looking things, because if you go too fast, you're going to overshoot it and fly off the construction site, which obviously is something you want to avoid. As for general tips with the RC Bandito, it's a light vehicle, so make sure not to take corners too hard and try to throw it around or do unexpected things with it. Because it's so light and it can behave very weirdly when you do so, it can give you some trouble if you're not too careful. When you're dropping down from a jump or anything along those lines, make sure to let go of acceleration and always try to land on all your 4 wheels. Landing on 2 wheels will give it a chance to start spinning out, which is obviously something you want to avoid too. Generally speaking, these RC time trials have about 5 to 10 seconds to spare, so don't be hesitant of just taking your time with it and just making sure you're familiar with the environment of the track, as well as how you should approach it before you start really pushing for like new personal bests and stuff like that. Because it's really not necessary, it's not very difficult in general when it comes to these time trials. Speaking of things that are not difficult at all, it's this week's time trial, because oh my, I did this one with 20 seconds to spare. And all that is because of one simple shortcut. As you could see in the gameplay, I shut down this fence before I went to start the time trial there, so we can take a very massive shortcut. If you prefer, you can obviously also take the road around it, but there's not really much of a reason to do so. When you're dropping off the mountain, make sure to land on your back of your wheel and let go of your acceleration so you don't start flipping out and start doing weird things with your Bad 801, like falling off. Other than that, it's basically just following the route and making your way through the Vinewood Hills and making sure that you keep an eye in front of you to make sure that traffic is not going to ruin your day. Unfortunately, that's not always possible, so you might have to give this a retry or two. With that said though, if you're going through the Vinewood Hills and these small roads, try leaning forward rather than doing wheelies to make sure that you keep your control of your bike much easier. Don't be too hesitant of using your brakes in order to avoid traffic, because like I said, I personally had 20 seconds to spare, so it should be totally fine. As soon as you reach this road here where you can do a lot more straight lines and the road has become a little bit wider, you can start thinking about doing wheelies for some additional speed boost, but in all honesty, it's not really that necessary. In the gameplay itself, I do accidentally take the longer route here, and I will show you how you can take an even faster route after the time trial gameplay is done. If you want to have an even easier time in this time trial, a Sotoro or an Akuchi Drag are 2 excellent vehicles to choose, primarily because you can lean forward to get your speed boost rather than having to do wheelies. And inside of these narrow roads in Vinewood Hills, having to not focus on wheelies is definitely very much preferred. All you need to do is take the left turn before this white fence and then just simply cross through the off-road section and just jump over this tiny wall here to cross the finish line. It will probably save you another 5 to 10 seconds if you're really pushing for some personal best here. But with all that said and with all that done, that was it for this one. Thank you so very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and if you really like what you see on the channel, consider becoming a member, like Chloe, Robert, No Loco Bra Link, and Dr. Strange Love. Join them by clicking the join button down below. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all later.